Bentonville, Arkansas, mountain bike capital of the world. Now, I know some of you're out there watching this. You're saying, Rich, come on, bro. How is it the mountain bike capital of the world? You don't even have mountains. Well, there's a few different reasons, and this is my take on it. Bentonville is pretty amazing. I don't know of anywhere else in the world that has this much diversity in trails, this much volume in trails, and this sort of proximity. Downtown is literally right over there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start a little series and we're gonna try to show you why that moniker exists. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna start here at a trail called Hammer Down. And we're gonna try to show you the best trails in Bentonville and give you some more insight as to why we're calling it the mountain bike capital of the world. All right, so what are the deets on Hammer Down? Well, Hammer Down is rated as a blue trail, so I'd call it a flow line with a little bit of chunky rock mixed in. Nothing too crazy. Now, where it's located, it's right in the middle of Ozone. So if you're familiar with the Bentonville area, you're familiar with Ozone, you probably have a good idea of where this is. If you're not, we're literally maybe a mile as the crow flies from downtown. So you could take All American all the way in to hit Black Apple, then turn into Black Apple and ride Ozone, and you'll come up from the bottom. So as you're riding through, you're gonna see it, you're gonna roll through the bridge. We're gonna show you in a second. The other option is you could go park maybe at Lincoln Junior High, hit Leopards, and then roll down this way. So there's a lot of different options on how you can get to this point. Now, if you look it up on Trail Forks, I'm sure by the time you look, Hammer Down will be there. Now, the next question probably is, man, Rich, what sort of bike do I need to bring? You know, do I need to be gunned up for something gnar? I don't think so. That's part of the beauty of a lot of the trails here is you can ride a lot of different bikes. Now, for me, well, I've settled on a bike that I fancy quite a bit, and that is the Fazzari Delano Peak. So 135, 150, basically the epitome of what I would call a trail bike. Do you need something this size? You certainly don't, but what I have found is this particular bike, it's really fun on this spot for a few different reasons. It rips going down, allows me to get a little corked, carry some decent speed, but it's also a blast riding back up. So this is definitely a session spot, and the return is pretty easy. So I think you got a pretty good feel for the where, the what in regards to bike. I think now, let's go take a look. Let's go break it down a little bit and show you exactly what some of these features look like, and then it's time to ride it. So, I know I don't even have to ask, but I will. Are you ready? Oh yeah, you are, let's go. Hi friends, Rich Drew here with a public service announcement to help keep you safe on the trails. Please be sure to pre-ride, re-ride, and free ride for your safety. Now, I love that these signs are getting put in. We've had, there's a lot of people coming here to ride the mountain bike capital of the world, and this little mantra right here I think really rings true. There's nothing super gnarly, in my opinion, for my level here or anywhere for that matter. But if you're a newer rider, somebody who hasn't been in the game very long, you really need to heed this advice. Come take a look at it. I get it, I know you get caught up in the moment, you're excited, you just want to roll in and rip it. I know you've watched the videos, but even though you've watched the videos, I still would love to see everybody pre-ride, re-ride, and then free ride. All right, let's break Hammer Down from top to bottom. So right here, after you come roll in, you got this first little feature. So you got this plank rock into a little wood drop, and what's cool about this is literally you can just roll right off. If you're feeling a little bit steezy, you can do a few things. You can kind of jump down, you can do that cool kind of nose bonk off, or you can do what I'm gonna try to do, and that's roll off into a manual. So let's hit this. So, how do I put this? I'm looking at skid marks on the trail. I don't think there should be skid marks on the trail. Now, what it's telling me is, when you're hitting this, you're ripping in way too hot. Slow it down, man. You don't need a whole lot of speed. I should have said that up there, but I didn't. You're gonna roll in, you're pointed downhill. Yeah, it's not a mountain, but you're gonna pick up a ton of speed. And this first little booter right here, it's got a nice solid rock face. You're gonna get plenty of distance. So start slow and then build up, because you can see all these people jamming on the brakes trying to make this right-hander. It's a great right-hander, ton of traction, and it leads you right into a pretty cool rock garden. But I'm telling you right now, you don't need a ton of speed to go blasting this. So, something I've said before, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Let me show you. All right, once you come through slowly and navigate this right-hander, you come into the first Garden des Rocks. Now, first glance, it's kind of menacing, and I've ridden through it quite a few times. There's no great line, like many people, oh, I'm gonna blast right through it. I haven't done it yet. I haven't seen anybody do it. I'm not saying it can't be done, but for me, I point her right down the middle and kind of hop off and try to, like, I don't want to say manual, but lead down with the back and keep the front as light as possible. So a lot of different options, just be careful. Some of the noises I've heard coming from here, whoa, frightening. Just keep it smooth, man, smooth. All right, as you can see, looks like you're rolling off into the abyss, into nothing. Now, that's not exactly the case, but what it's telling you is slow your roll a little bit. So get comfortable. It's a roll in. So 2 different angles. It's pretty fun to come off the top, jump over the first angle, and then land on the steeper angle. But if you bring in too much speed, trust me, you can go a little bit too deep. And you don't need to do that, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna use this to set yourself up for that left-handed hip that's coming up. Now, my best advice, these things, your eyes, tus ojos, keep them up. Look ahead, see where you're going, see where the trail's going. At this point, the trail's gonna go rider's left, and you can see that from here. So as a rider, it's incumbent upon you to look up and see where you're going, especially when you're about to hit that hip. All right, so at this point, things are getting a little bit spicy. So you've rolled in, you hit the first drop, you hit the first rock garden, and then you come blasting off this wooden roller. Now I'm gonna give you a little warning. For anybody who's already hit this, you know what I'm about to say. If you haven't hit it, be prepared, because when you drop in here, you're like Mach 3, you're ripping, you're bringing a ton of speed in. So when you get to this hip, you gotta be kind of careful. There's a lot of options, okay? I would suggest, first time coming in, stay to the inside, so that's gonna be your left. Really smooth line through, that'll help you gauge that speed. Then when you get a little bit more comfortable and you wanna hit this hip, you can certainly do that. And my advice is start low and move up high. So I come in, I generally hit this thing kind of the middle of the bottom third. And the reason is the higher you go, the steeper that takeoff is, higher it's gonna send you. With the speed that I'm carrying through here, my thing is I want to stay low and I want to land as quickly as I can. Progressive Trail Design did a great job of building this to be very friendly for a lot of people. So check your speed, eye it up, get a little bit more comfortable, and have some fun. Now, when you land this one, the speed's going to increase, trust me. And after that, it's a pretty healthy roller. And the idea behind the roller was to give you something to kind of scrub, slow speed down a little bit. Now, I've seen a few people blast off that thing, and the problem is you can catch some decent air, but there's nothing to land on. I'm not a big fan of flat ground landings. So check the speed a little bit on that, slow down, and then make your way up through that turn. Okay, so you've blasted through the hip, you're picking up a ton of speed. So now you're gonna come over this roller and be careful because you can get a little bit of air off that. You don't wanna go too deep. So come through it. My best advice is try to scrub the thing a little bit, stay low, and then you're gonna cruise right up this straight into a really cool left-hander and a rock garden. Now, bonus challenge for you. You got a little bit of shelf right here. I like to try to hit this shelf and see how deep I can manual up into the turn and then rip that thing and shoot down. So let's go take a look at that turn and that rock garden, shall we? So here we're at what I think is a shining example of why Bentonville has the moniker of mountain bike capital of the world. Literally, I don't know, 50, 60 feet that way, it looks like a giant RC car track. Super smooth, rollers, really fun and fast. And then you get right here and it's chunky. There's small loose rocks. There's these big giant slab rocks into this cool little rock garden with multiple shelves. So as a rider, it gives you a ton of different options. You know, if you're higher level, and I'd love to see you do it, you can come through, try to rip through this turn, carry some speed and hop off that top shelf all the way down. I'm not doing it. Now, if you're a newer rider, cruise in slow and get a little taste of what those rock gardens are like. It's a great spot to really build confidence and have some fun at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna rip it. Somewhat rip it. Like I said, I'm not jumping the whole thing. Although I don't know, I think the Delano Peak could handle it. I'm just not man enough. Here we go. Now it's starting to get really fun because you've come through that rock garden. You got two rollers right here, and this is where you're going to pump the downside of each of those rollers to get through from the wooden bridge without pedaling. Brings you right into this. This is what I call the primer step up. So it's something to get you ready for the bigger one down at the bottom. It's also, for me, it's where I try to do my best Cody Kelly impersonation and get all corked up on the bike. So again, you don't need to bring a ton of speed. Progressive Trail Design really laid out these rock face lips well, so they got a lot of lift to them. My advice, stay to the right. So land, stay to the right, and then eye up the rock garden that you're gonna drop into next. Let's go eye it up together. All right, primer step up, stay to the right, and then pick your lane of attack right here. Personally, me, I like to square this off and blast through the inside. Stay closest as I can to the left. Most riders, as you'll see, are gonna go far to the right because it's a little bit smoother, but it comes with a small cost. You gotta go out to the right, come back to the left to then make that right. I'm gonna show you my line. Bro, that's big. That's what a lot of people say. It looks big, it is big, but it's really fun. It's really friendly. So, the way it's set up, the top essentially is one big giant case pad. So you can come in slow. So remember, pre-ride, re-ride, free ride. Come in, get a look at it. Come in super slow. Literally, you can ride off it and then just stop right on the top. Now, once you get comfortable with the energy that's being created, you can slowly create more speed and get a little bit more distance. This last turn is amazing. You can carry a ton of speed, but remember, you need to check your speed coming into this until you're comfortable with the energy. You could probably go too fast and push into the takeoff instead of get lift. Let me show you. All right, not quite sure. There you go. Didn't carry a whole lot of speed in and just landed right on the top. And I even went pretty high up. You could come in slower and land further down. Now, when you're comfortable with the energy, ratchet that steez up a bit. It's a good place to do it. Let's go. Pre-ridden, we've re-ridden, now we're gonna free ride. Are you ready? All right, we're gonna drop in off this little roller. I like to try to manual in a little bit. Nice little booter, and then this, just straight down the middle. And you start to pick up a ton of speed right here, so be careful, don't flat this. Take it easy on the hip. Same thing, check the speed, roller, and try to manual here. Really fun turn, kind of double down, and I'm just pumping right now, turn down style. And then I like to manual through that. Get your eyes up, big turn, woo! Just like that, good times. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, there you go. Hopefully that gave you some insight. Bentonville's Best Trails, episode 1 in the books. So hammer down, rad spot, really cool, something that we're excited about because it's showcasing the next evolution in the trails here in the area. So we're gonna be bringing you more of these. So if you're a subscriber, be ready. If you're not, man, click that button down below. Get subscribed, click the bell so you'll be notified of when we're dropping these. You can also follow along on the gram. At the Rich Drew is the Instagram account. So a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of stuff you don't see here on the YouTube platform. So give us a follow there and stay tuned because we're gonna keep coming. We're gonna keep bringing it. Was I supposed to say something else? Okay, so yeah, let me go through the mental checklist in my mind of everything. I think we got it all. So that means there's only one thing left to say, and that's peace out, dumpers.